Hi, welcome back to the 1010 podcast, episode 10. Coming up next is a band called Paul Mcdonald from Dublin.
Indeed it is, yeah. Yeah, greetings from a surprisingly sunny Dublin, actually, at the moment.
Yeah, man,
it's not nice usually this way as well, you know.
Nice here in Cornwall as well, dude. So as enjoy it while it lasts, eh? So
I fully intend to.
Explain who you are as a musician and tell us about a band called Paul. Yeah.
Okay, my name's Paul McDonald. I'm native and resident in Dublin in Ireland. And I was sub-principal percussionist in one of the two national orchestras here for a decade in my younger years. I've written a couple of movie soundtracks, loads of music for TV and for theatre, and then decided in a fit of madness to start songwriting about 3-4 years ago. I'm a one-man band, multi-instrumentalist, so it's a home studio kind of setup that I have because I like the liberty of not watching the clock in the pro studio. I'm not prolific, but I really like what I do. Basically, that varied background that I have between the orchestra, the soundtracks, etc., make for an interesting mix of sounds that I make. That's the most common feedback I get. It's mainly an indie rock core, but dipping into jazz, world music, lounge music. And the track, if I may introduce it, that I think you're going to play this evening.
I was going to ask you about the song Alive. What's the story behind Alive? Why did you write that?
Alive is my third collaboration with a man I've never met. It was written and recorded 5,000 miles apart with an American rapper called Joel ID. He's based in Arizona. And the track itself, through conversations with Joel, we were both beginning to feel a while back that global events, etc., everything that was going on was kind of taking its toll on our mental health. And we both found at the same time that we were kind of retreating into our cocoons, and we kind of acted as support for one another to build back stronger. And the track is precisely about that. It's when things start to close in on you so much that you cocoon yourself and you reach out to friends who can support you to build yourself back and become more alive. Not simply to exist, but to be alive.
I'll relate to everybody.
Unfortunately, more so at the moment than ever, yes.
Exactly. Without further ado, a band called Paul with the song Alive. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
In the start, they tried to take my heart, picked it apart like vultures trying to leave the mark, and it hurt me like Tony. I became stark, like Van Gogh. I lost my ear for the art, so I became a recluse, living life in this noose, tight and squeeze until I found the truth. This evening I sat down and planted my roots. Hunchback needs to let loose, so I entered in this chicken coop and kicked out this dark wolf so I could regroup.
Dark days for me. Dark days for me, and I'm in retreat. Feels like we're under attack, but we can wrestle it back, turning down the heat.
All of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. All of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. Just in this place, you know we gotta make our own way, cause we choose our own fate.
We are together again. Stay with me, my friend, at least for today. Light, just a silent spark. It breaks through the darkness, lighting up the way.
All of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. All of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. Just in this place, you know we gotta make our own way, cause we choose our own fate. There's no restraints. There's no restraints. with all of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. Everybody knows it. Kiss we choose our own fate. This place is filled with all of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. All of life's wonders, places filled with all of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. Everybody knows it. Yes, we choose our own fate. No regrets, no mistakes. All of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. All of life's wonders, no we gotta make a try to kiss the choice of our fate. Right, all of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. All of life's wonders, no we gotta make a soul. I kiss the choice of our fate. All of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. All of life's wonders, no we gotta make a soul. I kiss the choice of our fate. All of life's wonders, no regrets, no mistakes. All of life's wonders, no we gotta make a soul. I kiss the choice of our fate. Choose our own fate. Choose our own fate.
Band called Paul. Well done, Paul. Fantastic.
Cheers, man.
I'll ask you what's next, and then Jade's unmuted herself. What's next for you, Paul? And then Jade, and then I think Richard's unmuted there as well, and Scott.
Next up for me is a solo release, back to solo stuff. You know, it's taken us a while. Joel and myself on this one pushed ourselves further than we have before. As I say, it's our third release. The first two we did kind of quickly together. This one took a long while so we could push ourselves to actually do something that kind of is incrementally better than the previous releases. But next up is a solo release, and I'm actually trying to get a live band together at the moment so that we can get into rehearsals and start touring towards the end of the year.
Well, I can't wait to see what's next. We've got Jade, Richard, Scott, JR. So Jade, then Richard.
I love that. Like, I love the mashup of the sounds, like, and then the video, the visual. Again, the fact that you guys were like miles apart, like, that's so decent. Like, you guys are, everybody on here is like so smart, so genius, and like with your music skills, and then also these visuals are just like, I'm so happy.
Thank you.
It was so good.
Thanks very much.
Richard, then Scott, then JR.
It's a thing that you can tell the music is so from the heart, full of energy, full of, you know, full of vibes, and the video was incredible. It's such a simple idea, but so impactful in a lot of ways, ahead of a lot of what things we see. Just a simple idea, but very, very impactful. It was gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well said. Scott, what's your thoughts here, brother?
That was very beautiful. Very, you know, I've been looking for somebody to kind of collab with that way. I'm as well a songwriter, MC. I freestyle and do stuff like that. But that was beautiful.
Thanks, dude. Thank you.
Well
I should
said.
probably point out, Joel and myself found each other on Twitter. That's how we got in touch. We've never met. We've never been in the same room together.
You know, gotta love, you know, and music.
That's also how I met you, Paul, as well, on Twitter. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Twitter all the way. Well said, Scott. JR, and then I'm going to do a special song next because the Doctor of Funk is here, Eddie Bullen. JR, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the mix between the genres, you can see you guys almost put your two styles together, and together it made it amazing. And I actually disappeared for a sec because I just had to shake my ass for a minute, man. Your part where it's just that funk starts, it's groovy. It reminded me of so many anthems, and just you made it yours, and it was just great. So I was like, yeah, this is great.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Well said, JR. Awesome. Paul, thanks for being a great guest, man, and I hope to see you again on the show. Let's talk.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
Yep. So, Paul McDonald, aka a band called Paul, multi-instrumentalist. Can't wait to see what's next and more of your stuff. So, up next is a guest who's not here, covering for a guest who never showed up, and it's all because of Eddie Bullen and Eddie Bowen's the Doctor of Funk. I'd like to unmute yourself now, Eddie. Right. The reason I get into this music game is because I was an electrician for 20 years and I struggled for a long time when I was back in Scotland, right? That's not the point. I had my own business, electrician, done great. Hey, more money than probably most of these make, right? But I was unhappy. I couldn't see my two little girls when I was back home for, it's been nearly 8 years now. It's been painful, you know. So I was in a very bad place. I went to Barcelona 2019 on a holiday for 5 days with hand luggage that I've not returned from. And I seen the bass player. When you say funk, this guy is called Dr. Funk, right? I'm sorry, I've got more than one bass player friend. Dr. Funk's the best bass player any you'll ever see. He's got one song that's released, right? It's released through a studio, which I'm going to show you now. And afterwards, I would encourage you all to check out this guy. To date, he's had over 300 million views on social media. And I'm not kidding, I made the videos for about 200 of them when I met him and come in. That's why I'm here in Cornwall. He's my best friend in Cornwall. I want you all to enjoy this song, Dr. Funk Roadrunner. And Eddie, see if there's anything you can do with this man. We're hooking him up with super people because he can do melodies and a bass guitar like you've never seen in your life. So this is for you, Eddie. But it's also for Johnny Rubin, Dr. Funk. Dr. Funk Roadrunner. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, I'm going to do something different this time. That doesn't do him justice. You don't see him doing what he really does. Actually, I'll play the video that I met Johnny and decided that I was changing my life. Portugal, the Man, cover by Dr. Funk. Hope you can still hear me okay. Let's go for it. This is
Some gathering is going. Woohoo! Fucking brilliant! Yeehaw!
What can I say? Eddie, I want your reply on that first. The first song doesn't show you how good he is as a bass player, but that is what made me not go home and change. I'm going to help this guy because I don't want to slag him, but he's sitting playing like that with holes in his trousers and stuff. Very poor. And you know, musicians struggle in this world. Most of them, a lot of them get told by their parents, get a normal job. And a lot of them have to fall out with their parents in order to hope to be a success, you know. And I met this guy, might I say his mate Seaborn, who's also on the wall. Dr. Funk, Seaborn's there, is the best world and the best electric guitarist you'll ever hear. If anybody's still here after the last two guests, I'm going to play Seaborn. So coming up next is David Roper from London. David, how are you, brother? And Eddie, before you, David, Eddie, what's your thoughts on Dr. Funk, please?
He's funky, man. I can see what why that changed your life, Mark.
Dude, dude, he's a street busker. He goes online and bucks in the streets, and he's got hundreds of thousands of followers on Facebook and all this. And you know, when he came to Barcelona, he had 700 followers. Nobody knew him. but no one even took the time to video him in Cornwall. Everyone's all musicians in this area, they don't help each other. They're kind of jealous of each other and stuff, you know. And see, like, see the people who have got these guys doing live events and paying them like $70 for a night. They don't want people to know how good they are. But Dr. Funk can play any song that any bass player can play. He can copy anybody, but he does the melodies, what makes him different. So please look into him, Eddie. He needs help. He's yeah, thanks, man. David Roper, how are you doing, David?
I'm fine, thank you. Yes, good. And it's nice to feature on the show. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for you to be here. So could you tell everybody, who is David Roper? What type of music do you do, etc., dude?
Okay, I used to play in bands in London and played all over London, the home counties, and that was great fun. When I retired, I still got a nice studio. And even though it's getting old now, because it was established in 2000, it's called Red Dave Studios with 1D, Red Dave Studios. And my artist's name is Red Dave. And which video are you going to play, Meg?
We're going to play Join Hands. What's the story behind Join Hands?
Okay, originally the song was composed and recorded about the turn of the century, about 2000. And I gave it to a friend of mine who's also a performer and singer, and he did it for a while. And then the other day on the computer, I rediscovered this and thought, wow, that's great. And it's got 2 children's choirs in it, which one was recorded in 2000, the other one was recorded in 2019. Children's choirs, and they were very good. So I hope you enjoy it.
I'm sure everyone will love it, brother. David Roper and Join Hands. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3.
If you look on the news today, you see a world so sad and grey, with tears and fears across this planet blue. But we can change this picture now and make our dreams come true somehow by reaching out and saying, I love you. Ooh, we can live as one. As one. There's nothing in this world that we can change. There's nothing in our lives we can rearrange to make the future good for everyone. The shanty town will soon come down while adults smile instead of frown. The children will laugh or cry with tears of joy, 'cause we're all just one big family with relatives we may never see, 'cause we're all guys and gals and girls and boys. Ooh, we can live as one. As one, yes we can. There's nothing in this world that we can change. There's nothing in our lives we can rearrange to make the future good for everyone. Everyone, I said everyone. Everyone.
a lovely song, what a lovely message. Man, I love it. I love it. Dro, then Jade. Dro, Jade, Scott, I see first, then Simon. Oh, Simon, that's you, sorry.
Yes, I really love
That's
that song, bro. The message is very powerful. I really like when the choir comes in. It's really incredible, powerful song. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well said, dude. Jade?
Yes, I second that. Like, I love, love, love the song. Like the simplicity and in the genius of it all. Like in the video, again, you guys with these videos, like I love it, and the kids sound so good.
Thank you.
The kids are beautiful. What a wonderful message. We've got Scott, we've got Simon, and then Tommy. Then we're on to our last guest, apart from our second special guest, who is the. We're on David at the moment, so I'm sorry. Simon is last. Simon Arnold is our last guest. So I said too many names here.
I'm gonna give you a big compliment. I know you're gonna respect this one. You had a whole Pink Floyd vibe. I put that sucker on again.
Thank you.
That's
Thanks
nice.
very much.
Well
Very
said, dude. Tommy, Simon, and Eddie.
Hey, I know that Mark is creating a video with all of his artists doing a Michael Jackson song. My vote is do that song. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's
Tommy,
so kind.
Tommy, I'm just testing the water, and if people play ball, we can make lots of these. And I don't know who else makes videos, but there's somebody that does videos for Good Morning America who's willing to do it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, yeah, man. But that's another story. Let's compliment the wonderful David. And I'll tell you that, Tommy, later. Yeah,
That's right.
Simon, what's your thoughts? Simon, then Eddie.
Two things. First is I loved it so much I started playing along to it. Fantastic. Secondly, John Lennon would have been proud of that song.
Thank you.
Yeah, salute, Richard, salute. Eddie, what is your thoughts here, brother?
Yeah, Dave, I think that could be the new standard, my friend. It reminds me of a lot of songs. You know, We Are the World, you know, with the kids singing. I think it's yeah, great job, David. You know, I love it. I love it.
Thank you very much. In fact, the song was written a long time ago, but I redid it, and the video was only done just before the awful war in Europe. Just before it started, I did the video.
Wow, wow. Anyway, guys, unfortunately, I have to leave you. I have a performance tonight with Liberty, and our sound check is at 5 o'clock, and it's now 4:30. I'm eating, and I have to run.
Thank you for coming,
my
Eddie.
apologies.
Until the next time, one love, brother. Keep doing
Yes.
your love, man. Cheers, bro.
Love you all.
Thank you
all.
very much.
We've got two more questions, David. Zach and Richard. Zach first. Zach.
Hey, I really liked it. Right off the bat, I could hear Pink Floyd in there, and I really got a real strong Beatles feel between the two. And it's such a good song. I got a little trick up my sleeve. See, I went to college for this, and what you want to be to get noticed is a controversy. And the fact that I could hear Pink Floyd in there would make a lot of people scratch their head, and you could end up with a copyright infringement situation, and everybody would find out about your song.
Thank you very much.
Well said, Zach. Well said, Zach. Richard, what was your thoughts, brother? I saw you saluting.
When I first started my TV series for human rights, the first one in the whole world, I had been influenced by the women's movement, the human rights pioneers, and musicians had a major impact on human rights in this whole world.
Yeah.
And 3 years after I did it, they did We Are the World, and that brought tears back to my eyes. But that didn't bring tears back to your eyes. Something's wrong with you. That was absolutely gorgeous.
Well
Thank you very much. Thank
Well
you.
said, David. Thanks for being a marvelous guest. I hope to get you on again ASAP next month sometime. Up to our final guest, and if he's want to hang around for one more Sparky's bonus, he can. But Simon Arnold, hi Simon, how are you, brother?
I'm very well, thank you, Sparky.
Could you tell everybody who is Simon Arnold? What type of music do you do? And then I'll ask you about a certain song in a minute. Who is Simon Arnold?
I've been a professional musician for quite a long time. I've had other careers as well. I've been a surveyor and a teacher. I started off singing when I was 7 years old. I've sung in 3 big choirs, all of which are at least 500 years old. So my music tradition is very much English church music, going back several hundred years.
Sorry, sir.
No, it's all right. But now I've stopped having to earn a living. I now go into primary schools and teach children how to sing as a volunteer. And I play the piano and the organ in National Trust properties throughout Devon and Cornwall. For those of you who don't know what the National Trust is, they're an organisation that looks after all the big old English houses. So I play Agatha Christie's Steinway grand piano, and I play an organ that was built in 1807. So
I was going to say, there's not many organ players left in the world, period, because they were all like decommissioned, weren't they, in the churches and stuff? And
absolutely. So yeah, I can play the organ. So I played with multi keyboards and pedals and everything. So and I'm really a performer rather than a songwriter, although I have written 1 or 2 songs, but not for about 40 years.
It's great to know that you're near me, because I would love to hear an organ live someday if it's possible. I would pay money to come and experience it, because they say in the old world, people used to go and get healing properties off of the sounds that come off of these things. It's not mainstream news, but yeah, they get decommissioned for a reason, and it wasn't a good one. So what was the song Silent Worship by Handel about?
Right, Silent Worship was written about 300 years ago by a bloke called George Frederick Handel. He was pretty famous. He wrote the thing called Messiah. So the Hallelujah chorus was his thing. I recorded this song. The vocals were in my bathroom. It's recorded on an iPhone using a Roland 4X thing. The keyboards are in one of my bedrooms, and the lady walking around is my wife in our garden. And I play this and sing it in 3 National Trust properties, because the lady at the house is really into gardens, and it's all about a lady walking around gardens. So, and it's all me performing everything. So I'm a bit of a sort of I try and do all the stuff myself.
That's marvelous, honestly. Without further ado, Simon Arnold and Silent Worship by Handel. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy. 1, 2, 3.
Not hear my lady go down the garden singing. Blackbird and thrush were silent to hear the alley singing. Oh, so you're not my lady out in the garden there, shaming the rose and lily. Twice as fair. Though I am nothing to her, though she must really look at me, and though I could never woo her, I love her till I die. Surely you heard my lady go down the garden singing, silencing all the songbirds and setting the alleys ringing. But surely you see my lady out in the garden there, bridling the glittering sunshine with a glory of golden hair.
Amen to that, Simon. And the sign is Richard. Salute. Hey, dude, that was absolutely beautiful, Simon. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anybody who would like to say their final piece? This technically is the last part of the show. I know that Jade was going to be first. Jade, what's your thoughts there, sweetheart? What's your thoughts?
Simon, I really, really like your song. We actually have a lot in common. Like I sing opera also, and like I love your vocals. And you did it in your bathroom. You guys are like so talented, so brilliant. Like I loved it. And my grandfather actually self-taught himself the organ. So it's like that's so decent, like that you play that. And like he said, the healing vibrations of it all, like your wife's garden is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well said, well said. Everyone's almost want to speak here, so I'm going to prepare that last song. Well, Richard, then Zach, then Scott go. Richard, Zach, Scott.
I've said this before at some of your things, but everything is a vibration. Everything, life, molecules, atoms, everything's a vibration. And the God force reaches across the universe instantaneously. They found it about 12 years ago. I used to say it when I was a child, but that's incredible music. Music started with churches and spiritual ceremonies, and every musician in the world works from his God force. Never forget that, because it's your God force that gives you your music. Love it.
Thank
you.
Simon, I'm just going to tell you the now. Richard is a descendant of Mary Magdalene, so it's a very, very spiritually connected person that's telling you this right now.
Right.
Aye, yeah. Look each other up. Found you both lovely gentlemen on LinkedIn, by the way. So Zach, Scott Cairns, Tommy Krieger, and Joe Cole. Zach?
I really liked it. I liked the angelic spiritual quality of it. I think that was a great song to end the show with, especially right now in this time in the world when people have pretty much cast their faith aside and it's suffering. You know, it's good.
Well said, brother. Well said. Simon, I'd love to come and make a video you playing an organ one day. I don't know if it's possible, but see if it is, I would love to come and spend a day and make a video of you playing an organ, because it's very rare nowadays, you know. But Scott, Tommy, then Joe Cole.
Amen. Well done, spiritual. Touched my soul.
Well said,
Thank
brother.
you. Thank you.
Tommy Krieger, then Joe Cole, Zimbabwe. What's your thoughts?
Well, I tell you, I really uplifting your soul. I'm telling you, just wonderful. I'm a Christian as well, and so that took me back, and now it brought me back even stronger. Thank you for that. I'd like to comment about the vibrations as well. I agree with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said, Tommy. Joe Cole, what was your thoughts, dude?
Yeah, I thought that was a great song. I really like the fact that, you know, you're singing from a pure place. Like, you know, you really, this is your life. And thank you for sharing.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well said, Joe. Always a gentleman. Thanks, Tommy. Simon, thanks for being a marvelous guest, and hopefully we can get you on again to feature something else another time. Simon Arnold, everybody. Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you.
And yep, we had 2 cancellations tonight. So if anyone wants to hear one more song, I'm going to tell you, I told you about Dr. Funk and how that changed me from being a musician, from being an electrician to doing this music thing. I'll be honest, and I'm going to tell the world, I'm not shy. I've got an IQ 160 plus, right? If I want to do something, I can do it. And I've decided that I helped Dr. Funk so much, but when I come to Barcelona, this gentleman, Seabone, yeah, these guys are the reason that I'm doing this thing in the music family. Seabone and his girlfriend put me up in a house for 18 months in Newquay. And you think Dr. Funk's good on a bass guitar? Wait till you hear this cover of Lil Wayne. Yeah, he sings it as well. Seabone, Christopher Seabone Hogg covering Lil Wayne, the best electric guitar player I've ever seen in my life. And that's saying something. So 1, 2, 3, let's go. All right, enjoy.
walking through the cloud with a circus mind that's running wild. Butterflies and moonbeams and zebras in a fairy tale. Well, she sighed. She come to me with 1,000 smiles. She only gives to me 3. But it's alright, she said it's alright. Take anything you want from me. Anything.
I don't tell lies, ladies and gentlemen. I tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. That's Seabone 4. If any of you want to add him on Facebook, he's a local guy. As I say, I stayed with him and his girlfriend for a year and a half here. Chris, one of his idols is Jimmy, and the other one is Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I think he's done the both of them justice there. And this guy goes out, he does gigs for like $50 and all this stuff. JR, I'm talking to you mainly, brother. If you can help this man, he's available. If you want to contact Seabone, it's Seabone, C-B-O-N-E 4 on all social medias. Seabone 4. He's available to do it. He's world class. Dr. Funk and Seabone, they do a duo. They blow people away. Guess what? They're only two of a 4 school friends band called the Big Sets. And one of the other guys is called Smokey. He's up in the wall up there. He's too high. I can't reach the now. He's the best harmonica player I've ever seen. He's like Freddie Mercury on stage. These guys, nobody knows about them. They don't even practice. They've never practiced. They meet up once a year to do festivals, and they're the best band in Cornwall. So I've showed you Dr. Funk. I've showed you Seabone. I'd like everybody to say the final piece of the night, starting with JR, then Richard. JR, what's your thoughts on Seabone?
Just blew me away.
Yeah,
away.
man.
Like, holy shit. It was like being on a different planet. And so he's Seaborn 4. I'm looking for him on Instagram.
C-B-O-N-E, like C and then bone, like leg bone, arm bone. Seabone 4, the number 4. You'll get him everywhere.
Yeah.
He's still relatively small. He's not got that big a following. Nobody knows about him yet. But yeah, and he's too shy. He's too shy and busy, and he's just became a father. And he's wrote a couple of 100 originals, by the way. He thinks it's an insult letting people hear him doing other people's songs. He can do any note for any song. Now he pulls his acoustic out. He's a way charming people. Many bars have got him as regulars. Like, come every Tuesday, Chris, can you please? Christopher Hogg, if you want to add him as a personal friend. Christopher Hogg, Seabone 4. So GR, dude, if you need the Tears for Fears guitarist, respect him. Seabone, he's 29 years old. If you reach out to him, hey man, thanks for that. Richard, then Zach, what's your thoughts, Richard?
I thought he heard. I thought he played every lick that every famous guitarist played in the world, all in one song. It was you could hear almost a little bit of everything, and it was incredible. He kind of blew all the other guitarists away, playing everything that they ever played, and it was incredible.
That's what I say to Chris. I say to Chris, you're amazing when you do your acoustic guitar, but see when he pulls out his electric guitar, he drops jaws to the floor. See,
I like to get him and that bassist on my band, get him in a band and jam. It's just
these guys, honestly, they're both, they're nowhere near made it yet, and financially regarding the music. But I want to plug my artist who draws all the family members. He's Drew Seabone. If you look here, that took him 8 hours to draw Seabone. That's world class. He put 16 hours into Jimmy. Watch this. Whoa. Yeah. That's my friend Craig Darrett Art. He's actually not well now, and he's not been able to come to the last few gigs. So I want to tell him I love it with bits and get well, Darrett. He might need to go an operation or something. I don't know. He's not well, but Craig Darrett, heal up. Zach, what's your thoughts? Zach, and then Scott. Final
Boy,
thoughts.
I tell you, that's like the standing ovation to end all ovations right there. How do you follow that,
dude? You didn't even
you can't follow that. I had to get my guitar out. I was like, man, maybe I better practice for a change.
It's 13 minutes long, 13 minutes long, and you just lost in another world. Yeah, thanks for that. Hopefully Chris sees this. Scott, what's your thoughts? Scott, then Paul, then Acacia.
Thanking you. My jaws dropped to the floor, man. So, I mean, what can you say but phenomenal?
Well, that guy and Dr. Funk are the reason I'm doing the music, they're the reason I'm in Cornwall, the reason I've met Kirsty. They're actually, I can go and video them recording in the street tomorrow. These guys, they're on my doorstep and they're my brothers. So Scott, support them, Seabone and Dr. Funk. Paul, what was your thoughts on the bass player and the electric guitarist?
There are no words. I mean, that was just stunning. How you can keep that going for 13 minutes and yet maintain interest for the entire duration. You just want more, more, more. But one thing I have to point out is his voice.
Yeah, man, he's
Completely
got the best
underrated.
voice
That was
I've heard him.
amazing at the beginning. I wanted him to sing again, you know. Just the
he's actually singing
soulfulness in that was sandpaper throat, lovely.
Absolutely. Tell me you're a fan. Seaborn 4, Acacia Hansen, then the lovely Jade. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I absolutely loved all of that. It was a complete journey through Wonderland. Like, I absolutely loved it. I did.
Nice one. Absolutely. Jade, what's your thoughts? Is that your type of music?
Yes, I think I left all my words in the comments. Like, I couldn't, like, he's amazing. He's amazing. Both of them.
Seaborn 4, get him added on Facebook and say, I heard you for Sparky, because he's too busy. He doesn't even know the level of the show I'm doing. He doesn't even believe in it. I don't think he doesn't. He thought, yeah, whatever, bro. He's too busy. But Chris Seaborn Hog, I love you, my bro. And I'm going to show Murray's shows. If anybody doesn't show up, I'm going to play these guys. Joe Cole, VB, then David, and the night's over. Joe Cole.
Yeah, man, I thought that was like next level. Like, I don't know why this guy is not even known yet, but he deserves everything, you know, good coming his way. He's really good.
Well, yeah, is the word, isn't it? It's definitely, it's just a matter of somebody meeting him. VB, Netherlands, what's your thoughts?
For sure. That was amazing, amazing, amazing. No more words, just
hook him up. David, finally, David, what's your thoughts, brother? And then it's been a great evening.
Well, not only have I played with some excellent guitarists over my years, like Leif de Leeuw, he's a Dutch guitarist, brilliant. But I have to say, that was as good as any of them. He was really, really brilliant. Excellent.
Absolutely honest, isn't he just? So thank you, everybody, for being marvelous guests. I'm going to stop the Facebook now. Then I love to stop the actual recording with the peace sign, because I hope for world peace. So if any of you know how to do the peace sign, give us a peace sign. 1, 2, 3, peace out.